Mornings on 2 is hitting the road for a zip trip to Pacifica.
I come only for the crab sandwich, nothing else.
I'm coming back to Pacifica a lot more often for this.
The coastal city of Pacifica is a draw for people who drive over the hill to enjoy the beach atmosphere and the food. Sal will share some popular food finds, along with those incredible cannolis, a sweet treat getting a boost in popularity thanks to a Golden State Warriors star.
Pacifica is surfing. That is our culture. Surfing and skating, especially surfing though, like that is where Pacifica gets its heart.
Of course, the ocean is at the heart of the community. We'll introduce you to a group of friends protecting the beaches to make sure they'll continue to welcome people for the next generation to come. And some trivia, such as what does Pacifica mean in Spanish?
Water.
It's got to be the ocean, Pacific Ocean.
No idea. No idea. I have never thought of it.
Frank Malicote takes a look at how much the locals really know about their city. Surprises, longtime favorites, and everything in between, as Mornings on 2 takes you on a zip trip to the foggy beach city of Pacifica. Cleared up considerably since the KTVU fan made its way out here to gorgeous Pacifica. People are surfing. I think there are more dogs than people in this town. It's a 6-mile stretch along the coast right between San Francisco and Half Moon Bay. Coastal beaches, yes, but also hills, valleys, rocky bluffs, hiking, fishing, golf, and also this thing they call surfing, Andre. We've got a lot to highlight in this gorgeous, gorgeous city of Pacifica.
Yeah, it is a beautiful day out here, believe it or not. It may look a little foggy, it may look a little drizzly, but it's not as cold as it may seem out here. And you can see folks in the water. There are tons of surfers in the water. We're right by the Taco Bell Cantina, that very famous Taco Bell with that fantastic view of the Pacific, right where surfers come. It is a beautiful sight out here, Garcia. It is fantastic.
Really is.
All right, so we have everything covered about Pacifica today. Lots of fans are out here checking things out. We have Frank Malicote. He is covering trivia for Pacifica. And we also have Sal. You know, Sal's always catching the great food and seeing what's out there. He joins us now live. Sal, you're also got some really cool cars behind you as well. Tell us about it.
I got some cool cars, and then there's a fire engine who's coming by right over here. So this is basically a bonanza for me. All right, so we have a fire engine. You know I love fire engines, and you know I love classic cars. There's Engine 71, Pacifica. Thank you, guys. And as Engine 71 moves by, there you go with the cars. We're going to talk to a person who is doing a lot with cars because it's something that is part of this town's culture. Cars, not just surfers, not just crab sandwiches, but cars. So we're going to talk to Jeff Brammer in just a little bit about how he uses car shows to help kids. I say kids because I'm a kid too, right? But I say young people learn about cars. We're also going to have a little later on some of the places that I found to eat. And, you know, I love doing that. So that's coming up. But my colleague Frank Malicote has been hitting the streets and asking people about the town's history. And I'm wondering, Frank, how'd they do?
Well, they did pretty well. I'm pretty hard grader, though. But we come from the pier. We're back here at Lindemar Beach. And I think Andre said it best. This town is known for surfing. And by the way, got here early this morning, and there were a number of surfers already out on the waves in a city that is got a few heavy hitters that grew up here. How about a comedic actor off SNL? You're sure to know his name. And a Major League Baseball player that won a couple of World Series back in the late 70s and the 80s with the Cardinals and the Mets. You will know him too. We'll talk about the weather. Just how many foggy days does Pacifica actually have? And I will introduce you to an iconic surfing dog by the name of Skyler, 13-year-old Queensland heeler, and she's going to hang 10 out here at Lindemar Beach later in the show. It's all coming up. Guys, back to you.
Absolutely, Frank. We've had the pleasure of meeting Skyler already. Yeah. I mean, Skyler's the star of this show. Let's be clear.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to take a picture with Skyler, too. And Skyler stayed in place on the surfboard while we took a picture earlier today. You know, there's a lot of history here in Pacifica. It goes way back to more than before this was a flocking destination for people who want to surf. Here's a look back at how we got here today. Set right along the Pacific coast, Pacifica has become an outdoor enthusiast's dream. Every day you can find people hiking and mountain biking on the trails that overlook the ocean, while surfers hit some of the Bay Area's best surfing locations. But the history of this city dates back thousands of years and even includes the site where European settlers first set eyes on San Francisco Bay. Generations of Ohlone call this land home before Spanish expeditions discovered present-day Lindamar, and that was back in 1769. Then, on November 4th, 1769, an expedition climbed the hills, and for the first time, a European put eyes on the San Francisco Bay. Over the next 100 years, it changed hands from the Spanish to Mexico and eventually the United States. Then, in the early 1900s, a new mode of transportation was set to rumble through the town. The plan was for an electric high-speed railroad from San Francisco to Santa Cruz with stops in Pacifica. The 1906 earthquake, though, dumped thousands of feet of track into the ocean. Engineers often dealt with rock slides and mudslides that brought train traffic to a halt. But in 1920, the rail line, as a dream, was done. Pacifica was officially incorporated in 1957. The name came from a contest that occurred that same year, and since then the population has nearly doubled. For surfers, it has become one of the best areas to catch waves in the Bay Area. You can see surfers at one of many beaches nearly every day. And we're going to talk a little bit more about surfing and learning to surf and teaching kids, Garcia, how to surf. I might want to go in and learn how to surf myself. Okay. It looks just so awesome and so interesting to do.
It definitely does. You know, what I love about when we get to come and highlight these towns across the Bay Area is so often you find the people who are serving in public office love their city because they grew up here. And that's the case with the mayor of this gorgeous city of Pacifica. We welcome Mayor Mary Beard to the 9 and also Councilman Mike O'Neill, two longtime residents. This time you guys are in charge. Mayor, I'll start with you.
Wonderful.
You know, a lot of people know one thing about Pacifica, and that's the fog. And if they know two, it's fog and surfing. What do you want people to know about your town?
You know, Pacifica's like a little piece of paradise here in San Mateo County. It's between Terra Mountain, Swinney Ridge, and the Pacific Ocean. And I think the fog's a bit of a myth, even though it's really foggy here today. But there's just everything here. And, you know, the people here, they just love their town so much. I call them spirited because they just stand behind everything they do. And so we really have a beautiful town here.
So, Councilmember Mike O'Neill, you're also the local historian here, and you also have some very interesting stories about what has happened here in the past. And one thing I found interesting is during Prohibition, this place was popping. Tell us a little bit about it.
Oh, yeah. The Ocean Shore Railroad actually had a tunnel that went down to Half Moon Bay that during Prohibition, the federal government had blew up both ends. And the legend is there's still some booze there.
Oh, really?
This Sanchez Adobe, which is the second oldest building in San Mateo County, used to be a speakeasy. Sam's Castle, which was at one point an abortion mill, a prostitutes and visitor serving, shall we say, also was a place of Prohibition, speakeasy.
So interesting. I love the interesting, you know, layers that this community definitely brings, Garcia.
And you know, you mentioned Adobe. Your family, Mayor Beer, owned the Adobe Butcher Shop. Closed about 20 plus years ago. You actually worked in that shop. You know what family-owned businesses are all about. As we're about to feature a number of restaurants and shops that are family-owned businesses here in Pacifica, how are you guys bouncing back after these 2 years of quiet?
Oh, that's a really wonderful question. You know, I think because this town comes together so well and really supports our local businesses, that businesses are starting to come back. And, you know, when I think about my own history in small businesses and all my brothers and sisters, we all worked together at the Adobe Butcher Shop, and we became part of the city, right? So we knew everyone, and I think that's how it is still today, that our local businesses are really local, are locally owned. People are like dedicated to them and loyal. So I think we're going to be doing okay.
Mike, I wanted to ask you, you know, when people think about a surfing community in California, they think about a community like maybe Venice. That's what came to mind for a lot of people that don't live in this area. But this is a massive area for surfing. Tell us a little bit about the history going back that made this community such a hotspot for surfing.
Well, surfing has just been a part of the culture of Pacifica for decades,
Yeah.
you know, eons. And it is, we have the annual dog surfing contest here, which I think is coming up in August. One of the main features is our Fog Fest, the end of September, which has a highlight of sand castles and surfing. And right here on Lindemar Beach is, we're just above where Mavericks is held every year, the World Championship Surfing Contest.
Yeah. All right.
There's a lot to highlight. We've got a whole hour to do it.
Yeah.
Councilman Mike O'Neill, Mayor Mary Beer, thank you both for inviting us to your gorgeous city of Pacifica.
Beautiful.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you for being here.
It's really a pleasure.
Yeah.
Oh, it's our pleasure. Our
Thank you.
pleasure.
Yeah. All right, still to come, we're going to be talking a little bit about the Pacific Beach Coalition. We'll have much more on that coming up shortly after this.
I think we might be checking in with our Sal Castaneda because we know a lot of things about Sal. And one of the things I've long known about you, you love anything on four wheels, Sal. And you've got a lot where you are.
Yeah, Gussie, I'm standing in front of a 1969 Chevelle Malibu SS, a car I wish I owned with a surfboard in the back. And this is part of the car culture here in Pacifica. These guys came out nice and early, and I want to bring in Jeff Brammer, who is nice enough to join me. And you even have it on your shirt here, Terra Nova Industrial Tech Car Show.
Exactly, yeah. Thanks for having us, and I appreciate the exposure for the car culture here in Pacifica. And this is a fundraiser that funds the Woodshop Auto Shop. It's a committee of business owners and people with a passion of cars.
Yeah, so Jeff, tell me that every May you have this great car show. You have a lot of cars. It's one of the best car shows in the Bay Area. People come from everywhere. And one of the things about the Terra Nova High School is they have a really good auto shop that is funded partially by you guys, right?
Exactly. And they also have a wood shop also. So the money we raise is for the materials for those two auto shop and wood shop.
And when you come to the car show, one of my favorite things is you have a club for some of the youngsters to get up there and try. So some of the people come out, they see the cars, they have a little young boxing club. But really a whole day on in May here that's become a tradition.
Yeah, exactly, and that's Babyface Boxing. Been participating for a long time since 2007.
Jeff, let's walk down here. I know that you're a car guy. Okay, so we got the Chevelle here. This is perhaps my second favorite car, the GTO. What about this car? I mean, if I were to drive somewhere, I'd be so cool driving this car.
Oh, definitely. This is a 67 GTO HO, and you can see it has the 4-speed. Great car.
So what is it about these cars? Look at these cars, and I have George show all these cars. Why are they, in my opinion, is it just my opinion, they seem to be cooler than cars that were made in 2022?
Oh, they had character. You know, it's not like the new cars nowadays where they all look alike. These cars, you know, for instance, there's a Mercury Cyclone next to the GTO, and, you know, you don't see these cars much out there driving around.
Tell me about the car culture in Pacifica. These guys, because I grew up in Daly City, just over the hill. You'd come over and you'd see these guys driving their cars. These cars don't stay garaged. They actually drive around town.
Oh, and that's what's great about it. You got to drive your cars, you know, and it's great when you come here to Pacifica and you see all these cars driving around. You know, it's definitely awesome to see people bring their cars out and share it with others, you know.
And the last thing, Jeff, what made you get into cars? And all your friends are here. It just warms my heart. These people came out early to, you know, they're so proud of their cars. What makes it that someone will they just get a car and all of a sudden join you guys?
No, well, yeah, for instance, you know, they like to show off their cars and learn about cars. And it's great to bring them out. And I do it for the youngsters. You know, I love for young people to come up and ask questions. You know, they could be getting their license for the first time, or they just see the beauty and the rarity of a car. You know, it's nice to have that. And that's what I love about the Terra Nova show, for instance.
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. And by the way, youngsters, a lot of these cars are stick shift. You don't know how to drive a stick?
Yeah, yes, correct. Yeah. Learn how to drive a stick.
Learn how to drive a stick, okay? Andre and Garcia, I hope that both of you know how to drive a stick, because half of these cars
drive one every day,
will not leave without, right?
Yeah.
My dad taught me on a stick shift. He said, if you can drive a stick shift, you can drive anything, right? And so now I can come down there and drive one of those cars, perhaps. If you could talk them into it for me, Sal. Thank you so much for that report. All right, Pacifica Beach Coalition. That story, we're getting to it finally, celebrating 25 years. They have documented the removal of just tons of debris, and they were out here earlier doing just that. And Gassi is going to be speaking with them. You're looking at a live picture as we go to break of them right now. Gassi will have much more from this organization coming up after the break. All right, you're looking live at the pier here in Pacifica. It is a popular spot this morning, as it is almost every day. If you walk down there, you can see people grabbing their fishing poles and looking out. It's a great fishing spot, as we hear, and we'll check in a little bit later on to see how things are going back over at the pier. Gassia?
When you think about the natural beauty of Pacifica, it doesn't just happen on its own. Yes, Mother Nature and Father Time have a lot to do with this, but so do the people of Pacifica. And I have 3 of them here who have long spent their time making this such a gorgeous place to be. We would like to welcome Anthony Luxton right next to me. You're a board member of the Pacifica Beach Coalition. In the middle here, we have young Isabella Bringas, 14 years old, making a difference in her beautiful community. And on the end, Greg Finkelstein, you're a naturalist with the coalition. Thank you all 3 for being with us. Anthony, I'll start with you. 2 years on the board. What made you decide to make the jump to really protecting your beaches in this way?
Just being a part of the community and giving back, and certainly the mission and the history it has over 25 years of maintaining the coast.
And is it mostly beach cleanups, or are there things that you do that maybe we all don't know about?
Yeah, it's beach cleanups, but we also do a lot of habitat restoration and a lot of education to the youth, and have great youth programs. That's a lot we do, and other events as well.
And Isabella, you and your cohorts come together and dedicate and donate your time to Pacifica, to cleaning up the beach. What does that feel like?
Well, I just think it's awesome that, the Pacific Beach Coalition has a junior program, and I have the opportunity to make connections and take the initiative. And it's not just you show up, you pick up the trash, and then you leave. It's you have the opportunity to make connections, and it's really important.
Yeah, so maybe one day you might be a naturalist, which leads us to our 3rd guest here. Greg, tell me what you do in your role as a naturalist for the Pacifica Beach Coalition.
Well, when I'm a naturalist, usually I'll have a table that people will come up to, and I'll educate the public about, what kinds of trash that we're actually finding, the efforts that we can be making beyond just the beach cleanups, and also some of the local habitats and ecology that are around.
Has the coalition picked up, did I read this right, 150 tons of marine debris?
Yes, over the time that we've been existing.
25 years.
Yeah.
Is the number one thing you find, Isabella, when you're out there with your friends, is it cigarette butts, or what do you find most often?
Yeah, I think cigarette butts, and then also the microplastics are really important. And yeah, that's just one of our stress and things that we say that's really important to pick up, because it has the biggest effect on the environment.
Greg, I'm the kind of person who will carry a plastic bottle in her purse until she gets home so she can properly recycle it. What do you say to those people who aren't always as mindful of what they're leaving behind?
I think that it's really important to understand that everyone is out here in Pacifica making a huge effort to keep our beaches clean, and it doesn't take many people to make a large visual impact.
Yeah.
And once this trash is off the beach and into the waters, we don't see it, but it's still there. So it's really important.
And Anthony, what do you say to people who want to come down and be a part of your mission?
Yeah, you can definitely come on down. Every weekend we have cleanups up and down the coast at 13 different sites, or clean up in your neighborhood, because that trash ends up into the ocean eventually. And most importantly is use your voice.
Yeah.
Use your voice and speak up.
And Isabel, as we look ahead to the next generation, when I was your age, we knew that litter was not a good thing, but I imagine that you and your friends are a lot more educated about this issue, and you're also looking far into the future.
Yeah, I think it's great how the youth of our community have come together and decided to make the change. Yeah. And I think with the help of the Pacific Beach Coalition, it's
what's
really
the grossest or the weirdest thing you found?
Well, I think we just see a lot of like PPE, like masks,
Oh,
and
yeah.
like mostly used.
Yeah.
And that's not like the greatest thing to pick up.
That's not cool. All right. Thank you all three for joining us. Good work by the Pacifica Beach Coalition. 25 years. Here's to 25, 50, 75 more. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a great start of your school year,
Oh.
by the way. 10th grade. What's your high school?
Crystal Springs, Uplands.
There we go. All right. Thank you so much, all three. When we come back, we're going to focus on another amazing slice of Pacifica, and that is the food. Look, from crab sandwiches to cannoli, Sal has you covered. He got to eat and drink his way through this gorgeous town. We have our favorite segment of all, Taste of the Town, coming up in just a second as we shine a gorgeous spotlight on beautiful Pacifica this morning.
All right, welcome back to Mornings on to the 9 Zip Trips, a special edition. We are in Pacifica today, and as you can see, perhaps the most popular sport in the city is surfing, and tons of people are in the water. I was sitting in the parking lot waiting before the show started and just watched a trove of people coming in and leaving and getting their surfboards off the racks of their car or taking it out of their car and getting ready. It was a very, very fun thing to watch. And we're going to check in a little bit later with a camp, a surf camp here in Pacifica that teaches kids. And we're going to talk to a couple of the people that grew up in that camp and are now instructors themselves. All right, one of my favorite parts of Zip Trip is checking out the food, and Sal Castaneda got a chance to do just that. Let's check in with him now to see what he got a chance to get a taste of this time in Pacifica. Sal.
Well, Andre and Garcia, you know, it is a tough job, but someone has to do it. Now, I grew up just over the hill in Daly City and San Francisco. We've come down to a lot of these places. There's one place I'm going to show you here that my parents still go to this day. But there are a lot of great places to eat in Pacifica. So let's find out what I found when I came to Pacifica's Taste of the Town.
When you drive down the hill into Pacifica, it might be easy to miss a lot of good things to eat. But if you slow down and look around, you'll find places that have been here a long time. Probably the most popular place to eat in town is Nick's at Rockaway Beach, a restaurant and cocktail lounge serving seafood, steaks, pasta, and more.
Fish and chips for you. Thank you.
We found the kitchen busy during lunch service. Lena Gus says her family has owned this business for generations, and the dining room proudly displays the history of Nick's, which has been here for 95 years.
The baby is my dad, and that's Nick and Lorraine, my grandparents. My father, Chuck, and he was pretty much raised here in the restaurant.
But people just don't come here for nostalgia. They come here for the food, atmosphere, and service. One item sticks out.
But I come only for the crab sandwich, nothing else.
Nick's crab sandwich is fresh Dungeness crab on grilled sourdough bread. Simple and good, just like all the food.
I've had the fettuccine, I've had the fish and chip, and the crab sandwich, and they're all my favorites.
Time to dive into that crab sandwich. I'm coming back to Pacifica a lot more often for this. And if you just want a cocktail, the bar at Nick's looks like one you'd see in a movie. Often you hear Sinatra and Martin playing on the jukebox, and there is a live band and dancing on the weekends. Nick's general manager Ryan Turner is a local who says Pacifica has something for everyone.
There's great places all over town. I mean, it's a fun family place. I've lived here since I was born.
Right across the street from Nick's is a small breakfast and lunch spot called Breakers. Breakers has plenty of outdoor seating, strong coffee, and good hearty portions. Owner Steve Bancroft says you'll eat well here at Rockaway Beach.
And then you have the hotels right here surrounding us, so we could take care of the locals and the travelers all in one.
Not too far away, just up Highway 1, is another family business established almost 50 years ago. It's Mazzetti's Bakery on the corner of Manor Drive and Oceana Boulevard. This is a full-service bakery. You can get fresh bread, cakes, pies, donuts, cookies, and more. Owners Julie Mazzetti and her daughter Angela spoke to me about their longtime family business.
Longest baker has been here since I was 1 year old, so
awesome.
Yes.
Well, okay, now you have to tell me how old you are.
I'm 30. Okay. So 29 years.
Mazzetti's also has good cannolis, an item that's receiving a boost in popularity thanks to a Golden State Warriors star.
So recently, Klay Thompson made a big deal of cannolis because he said something like, "Holy cannoli."
Well, holy cannoli, the cannolis here are incredible. I always like to peek in the back to see where the magic is made, so to speak. As I expected, it's a big operation, a baker's dream. You know I couldn't leave town without trying local brews. I found Pedro Point Brewing Company with the beer brewed in the back and enjoyed in the front. Owner Roberta Gamble says this place gets a lot of support from the locals.
We had a lot of great support, too, from them during the pandemic. And so, yeah, we're really thankful for our locals. But we're also really close to San Francisco, so we hope to get more folks coming down from the city, too.
You can get a sample of everything that's on tap here, so I had a flight. All of them were good, but my favorite was the Session Hazy IPA.
Ooh, that's good.
If you come down and like the beer, you can take some with you in cans.
And here we are back live at the Pacifica Pier. There are a lot of people out there fishing right now, so it is nice to be in Pacifica, especially since I had so much of a good time growing up just over the hill. Here are some of the other places. Now, obviously, I didn't get to go to every single place. There's a lot of places to eat in Pacifica. One of them is the Soul Grind Cafe. These are the viewer responses. Soul Grind Coffee Roasters, Paisanos, Colombo's Delicatessen, La Playa, and Moonraker. And let me throw in one that is not on the list, Puerto 27. Since today is Peruvian Independence Day, Puerto 27 makes a mean pisco sour. Andre Angacia, there is no shortage of good stuff to eat and drink in Pacifica. You know it.
Yeah, no, you made that clear. I think we'll have to start with the crab sandwich and then work our way to the cannoli.
Exactly.
You mentioned, Sal, you grew up not too far from here. We dug way back in the Castaneda archives. We pulled up a couple photos. We're about to see you as a young pup, starting out doing something that you still do to this day. Tell me about your DJ career.
Well, okay, and the Pacifica Police Department is one of the DJ parties that I did, and of course we don't talk about that much because the police officers, they want to have a party and not have it blasted out. But I drive around, and every once in a while I'll see a police cruiser just waving. I'm thinking, oh, I'm in trouble. No, it's the guys that I used to DJ for. And it's like, okay, it's a little nerve-wracking at first, but then they're all, hey, what's up? And it's like, so I'm pulled over, but I'm not pulled over. I'm pulled over to talk for about 15 minutes about those parties way back when. So if you guys are watching out there, Pacifica Police, I got your back. That's all we're going to say about that. Let's go back to Andre Angacia.
You got your first setup here in Pacifica, right?
Yeah, there's a place called Manor Music over there by the Safeway. That I used to come to because they used to sell DJ stuff. Now they mostly just sell guitars and sheet music, but back in the day, in the early days of DJing, you could go in there and buy lights and all kinds of DJ stuff in there, and it's still there. It's a place called Manor Music in the shopping mall where Safeway is here up in the Manor District.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
I could see it. I could see the Safeway right over there, just a little sliver of it right there. So I know exactly where you're talking about, Sal. Thank you so much, and it's a good thing you got those police officers a great party. Otherwise, it may be a different story. So we know you must have did a great job when you were DJing. All right, one of the most fun parts of this show is learning about the history and to see if members of the community actually know the history of this place. Frank Melicote, he does a great job in researching what goes on here, and he goes and quizzes people to see what they know about it. We're going to see what he learned from them coming up.
There's quite a setup here.
Oh, yeah.
In the Pacifica State Beach parking lot here. We're so happy to be here this morning. We're shining a light on this gorgeous, gorgeous city. 6 miles of coastal gorgeousness between Half Moon Bay and San Francisco. We know there's surfing, right? We've showed you that all day. There's also hiking, golfing, fishing, mountain biking, eating and drinking, and there's a lot more to this town. It's a really, really beautiful way to start the day, and we're so glad that you're with us on this zip trip to Pacifica.
Yeah, a lot of folks out there surfing and paddleboarding out there in the water too. Despite the waves, I did see people out there paddleboarding this morning. All right, so Frank Melicote is up now, and he likes to dig up a little bit of history that folks may not know about every town that we go to, and he did the same thing for us here in Pacifica, and he went to go ask folks who live in the area about it. Frank, tell us about it.
All right, well, good morning to both of you. Hi, everybody. Pacifica was incorporated way back in 1957. It was actually named in a Name That Town contest. I kid you not. By the way, Coastside was the runner-up, so I think they got it right with Pacifica. It's known for a lot of things. including its wacky weather and all this fog. So I took to the streets here in Pacifica to find out just how much the locals really know about their town. It's a beautiful day today, but on average, how many foggy days does Pacifica have?
I would say 257.
You don't live too far away, apparently.
No.
It's actually quite a bit lower.
365, there's gotta be. It's always foggy.
Probably 300 or more. Every time I've been here, it's been foggy.
You're off a few.
I'd say about 40.
40? Really? And you live here?
And I live here.
Wow. It's actually a little bit higher than that.
That is 365.
365. You're
Yes.
saying every day?
Every day.
Well, what happened today then?
It's a blessed day today. It's the worst wind day.
Let's go with 60.
60. And you're off a little. You need to add about 50 onto that.
Oh.
About 106.
Okay.
And you hit a home run today, by the way. A gorgeous day. Comedian, Saturday Night Live, late 80s, early 90s, used to know him as the Cuppy Man.
The Tomster, making coffees, Mr. Tom.
He grew up here. Any idea who that might be?
You know, with the dark hair, and I know who he is, but I don't know his name. I've forgotten.
He's been in a lot of movies. He would say, "You can do it." No idea?
You can do it!
Saturday Night Live comedian, late
Rob
80s,
Snyder.
90s. Who?
Snyder.
First name?
Rob Terra.
Used to say, "You can do it."
You can do it!
Oh, Rob Schneider.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
Perfect.
So "You can do it," did it, right?
Oh, yeah, it did.
What were some of his lines?
He had the coffee guy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
making coffees.
Steve and Sandy, making coffees.
His mother was also on the school board.
Okay. Was she funny too?
I've never heard her do a skit.
Okay. This gentleman grew up in Pacifica, won 11 Gold Gloves, was an all-star in the 70s and 80s for the Mets and the Cardinals. Any idea who that might be? 11 Gold Gloves? Yes.
My God,
Who is this guy?
I know him, man. I know him.
You know him?
Yeah, no, I met my brother played baseball with him.
Yeah. First baseman for the Mets, 86 World Series. First name Keith.
Oh, can't think of it. I'm a big baseball guy.
What year were you born?
96.
Okay, we got issues.
No,
No idea.
no idea.
Got a mustache, handsome
Well,
guy.
I know the
first
name.
base.
No, I know the name.
If
But
I say KH, does that help you?
Yeah,
with
Keith
the initial?
Hernandez.
Yes! Keith Hernandez, does that ring a bell? Not even, really. Okay.
Sorry, Keith.
Sorry, Keith. What does Pacifica mean in Spanish?
Pacifica means water.
Lots of water.
Lots of water. It's got to be the ocean, Pacific Ocean.
It's close. Sounds like it, but there actually is a translation.
No idea.
Yeah.
No idea. I have never thought of it. I have no idea.
Well, how does it make you feel when you're here? That may be a clue.
I feel fresh and relieved to get away from the city.
Yes. So it's peaceful.
It's peaceful and relaxing.
How do you feel when you're by the ocean?
Nice.
Relaxed?
Relaxed. Calm.
Peaceful?
Peaceful. P for Pacific. Peaceful. That makes
That's
sense.
it.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Roughly translated, Pacifica means to pacify in Spanish, and I think we can all agree with that with this beautiful ocean front. Here's 6+ miles of coastline. Coming up, we're going to introduce you to Skyler, the wonderkin 13-year-old dog, who is a surf dog and a world champion. That's coming up next. Guys, back to you.
I love it, Frank. Nice, peaceful, calm, relaxed. We asked you, what are your favorite things to do in and around Pacifica? And boy, KTVU viewers poured in with their responses. Among the top choices, we have Sea Bowl. I drove right by it coming on down here. Frontierland Park after that. Then comes hiking at Maury Point. You have to hit San Pedro Valley Park. And of course, Sharp Park Golf Course, Andre.
All right. We've been telling you about the surfing all morning long here, but actually the learning how to surf begins at a very young age thanks to Surf Camp Pacifica here in Pacifica. And joining us now are two of the kids that grew up in the program and now work for the program. We have Maddie and Marcus. Thank you both for joining us here today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so first, Maddie, tell us a little bit about Sea Camp Pacifica. What is it about?
It's really about teaching the kids how to get comfortable in the ocean, teaching them about oceanography and how to deal with more stressful situations in the water, as well as just learning how to
navigate the oceans, I guess,
exactly.
and the rough surf and so forth. So Marcus, what age did you first start Surf Camp Pacifica?
I started around 6, I would like to say, although it's been such a millennia ago that I can't even remember.
Yeah.
But pretty much, I've gone up with the program. I've done pretty much everything here.
Yeah.
And it's been a very, nice learning experience because now I know how to surf, I know how to swim. And I'm starting to work here too. And so, it's nice to know that it's finally come full circle.
Yeah.
Where I've finally been able to do, what at least I think, my camper self would never imagine could happen in the future.
Interesting. So Maddie, you're now working in the program as well after growing up in the program as well. And you're teaching now the fundamentals of surfing. What are some of the things that you're teaching the kids as they go through the program?
We really like to teach them about maybe the dangers of the ocean so that they can beware, different ways to respect other surfers. There's a lot of surfing etiquette that goes into surfing and respect. So we like to teach them about
What are some of the etiquettes that you teach them?
So there's a lot to do with who gets the wave and priority.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, and if you go out there and you don't really know that, sometimes people can get really upset. So we like
protective.
Yes, protective. Localism is a big thing in many places, especially when it comes to surfing. So we like to teach them who gets priority, whoever's deepest on the peak gets the longest ride of the wave, so they get the priority.
So these are the things that you learn. It's just, you can't just go out there and it's not a free-for-all out there as many people might imagine. There's something to go with it. You're not only teaching surfing as well, bodyboarding is also part of this program, Marcus?
Oh yeah, bodyboarding, skimboarding, boogie boarding.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other types of, surfing in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the fundamental idea that it teaches you guys growing up and teaching you about the water and about water safety? Randy, tell me.
We just like to make sure that the kids learn how to be comfortable in the water, and a big part of that is learning how to deal and navigate the ocean, and kind of knowing what to expect, knowing that the ocean is an unpredictable force.
Right.
You can't really foresee what's going to happen. You always need to be cautious and on your toes.
Sometimes it can look pretty mean and intimidating, but this program, Surf Camp Pacifica, definitely teaches kids how to do that. Maddie and Marcus, thank you so much for giving some insight into this program. I wish I could have done it when I was a kid, but at least I get to see you guys do it and see you guys have fun out there. All right, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
Of course, thank you.
All right, coming up next here on the program. All right, we're going to have more on the hometown hero, Claudine Wong. She's going to tell us a little bit more about that as we check out the surfers after they learn to surf when they're kids. They're growing up and now they're catching a wave out here in Pacifica. We will be right back. All right, we know Claudine Wong is always good about getting those one-on-one people stories, and today she introduces us to the hometown hero here in Pacifica.
We spent this overcast day with our feet in the sand and our eyes on the ocean, watching as this group of friends who grew up surfing together once again hit the water.
Is there Pacifica without surfing?
No. Pacifica
I wouldn't know
is
it.
surfing. That is our culture.
It's like home almost. Like anywhere you go, the ocean can be a home,
Protecting that home is what they do as members of the Pedro Point Surf Club.
We want to keep it clean. So we have a certain love for the ocean that people kind of maybe don't have, and we want to just keep that love going pretty much.
The club's mission is to promote that love through camaraderie and safety in the water, with beach cleanups and surf competitions to help welcome in the next generation.
The club, the Pedro Point Surf Club, has been around for 35 years. Originally started when the original surfers came over to Pedro Point and started a surf community. Around 1987, it became a little bit more formal, where we started doing memberships. My dad was one of the original members, so it was a very local surf community organization.
It remains a family affair, with Mayo's children and their friends part of a new generation that knows what it's like to literally fall in love with the ocean.
When you fall under and you're getting swished around all upside down and you don't know which way is up, it really is scary. So
And that scares people away.
Yeah, it
when that
does.
happens to beginners, they're like, never again.
Yeah, but then, like I said, you catch that one good wave and you're like, oh my gosh, I can never stop doing this.
It's
This is my
addicting
passion.
at that point.
The ocean, they say, is an ever-changing place that has provided constant refuge.
I mean, yeah, it's like my tranquility. I go out there to escape like the real world, and like you just forget about all other problems and you're focused on you and the unpredictability of the ocean.
Kind of helps you disconnect from everything. You can't really think about anything else when you're surfing.
Mayo says these young people represent not only what's happening today, but what's to come.
What's the future for the club?
Our future is our youth. They're the next generation. They're the ones that are going to be protecting the beach and being in the water and making sure it's safe out there.
The club does that with Gromfest, a youth surf contest. The Big Chill Out, which brings the club and surfing community together, and coalition contests to address access, pollution, and policy.
You kind of want to treasure it, and you don't want it to get polluted or ruined by anything. You want it to stay nice.
Like my dad's generation, they definitely had less people out there and like less of a huge community, I would say. Like it's definitely more tight-knit. And like now it's kind of everyone's welcome, and we're excited to see people learning how to surf.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think it's more diverse, which is good. It's more welcoming.
We have a certain love for the ocean that people kind of maybe don't have, and we want to just keep that love going pretty much.
The heart of this community in the hands of generations of locals, all looking for that next perfect wave.
Surfing and skating, especially surfing though, like that is where Pacifica gets its heart.
In Pacifica, Claudine Wong, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And we are not done with the waves, not by a mile, because up next, it's the minute we've all been waiting for. Look, Skyler has a sticker. Skyler is on Instagram, and soon Skyler will be on KTVU 9, the surfing dog. We're about to see it in action. You want to stick around for Skyler? We'll see her in a second. Welcome back now to one of those only in Pacifica things. A surfing dog named Skyler. Frank Malicote, take it away.
All right, I will take it. The World Surf Championships for Dogs is a week from tomorrow from 9 o'clock to 12:30 right here at Lindemar Beach. And by the way, I am a big Skyler fan. Skyler, the Queensland healer, 13. He's here. He's a little chilly right now. He has his own Instagram page. And Homer Hernard out of Santa Cruz is his owner. How are we?
We're doing great. Happy to be down here. Excited for the event, August 6th. We'll be down here surfing with all the cool surf dogs. Come down and check us out.
It looks like Skyler's a little chilly.
Yeah, it's a little cold today, a little foggy, but she's all right. She's always excited to get in the water and surf.
So tell us, how do you teach a dog to surf?
She was just a natural and jumped on the board at a young age and wanted to do whatever I was doing, and it just came together that she became my best surf buddy. So it was pretty special.
And she actually controls the board by herself. She knows how to turn and everything,
yeah,
right?
She's pretty good. She's ridden a lot of waves tandem with me, so then when I push her in solo on her own board, she knows what she's doing.
Yeah, and by the way, she doesn't like water, right?
Yeah, she doesn't like the water that much or swimming, but when I throw the board down, she jumps right on it and is ready to go.
All right, and tell us, she's also a therapy dog. You work with a couple of nonprofits,
Yeah,
right?
she's an amazing surf therapy dog for Waves of Impact, as well as Operation Surf with the Wounded Veterans, and they really have a good time having surf therapy with dog integration. It's pretty cool. It's special.
Are there days when she just says, "Sorry, Dad, I'm not going out"?
No, she normally wants to go. Like if I surf without her, she gives me a little attitude and will look the other way. Like she normally wants to get in the water with me. So.
And in Santa Cruz, Steamer Lane, Pleasure Point, do they all know her?
Yeah, she's the little local mascot surf dog in Santa Cruz. So we have a good time with it, and we got really good waves in Santa Cruz for her to surf. So it's amazing.
By the way, a reigning champion of the Surf Dog Championships right here in Pacifica, right?
Yeah, exactly. We've won the contest before and are happy to be here, and it's just going to be a good time. So come on out. All the cool dogs are going to be there with leather jackets, sunglasses on. It's a good time.
And the cool surfers, too. Let's get in the water.
Yeah.
We don't have a lot of time, but we want to see Skyler kind of hang 10 paws. There she goes. Remember, she doesn't like the water. So they're heading out. I'll throw it back to you in a couple of minutes. We'll see Skyler doing a little surfing. Yeah, she's up. Beautiful. Unnatural.
There she is. All right. Frank, thank you so much. Good luck to Skyler next week on the big competition. We're out here now with Kathy. Fog Fest, by the way, is returning after the pandemic, after 2 years. It's going to be in September. Kathy joins me now to talk more about it. And Kathy, tell me about this big check you have right behind you.
Well, the Fog Fest started in 1986. Our last Fog Fest, 2019, we were able to give out $105,000 to our nonprofit community groups. They're the ones that run this festival. We're very unique, and they're glad that we are back, and we hope that everybody comes out and enjoys it. We have a few of our nonprofits here with us. We have our beautiful fog cutter drink. We've got our glasses, souvenir glasses, and our president, James Crow.
And for those who don't know, what is Fog Fest?
Pacific Coast Fog Fest is a 2-day arts and crafts festival. We have 3 stages of music, food, lots of fun. We have a fun fest on Sunday.
And drinks. What is this? The fog cutter?
This is
Tell
the
what's in there.
special fog cutter. This is rum, and it's Midori, and it's sweet and sour, and it's 7-Up. And here's our little story on the fog cutter.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And we try this drink right here. You don't mind, do you?
No,
all right.
Just for you.
Tastes fantastic. Garcia, we'll send it over to you.
Right, you digest that.
Oh,
we
yeah.
have an amazing young woman we would love to spotlight here. A Pacifica resident who is also the 2022 Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival Princess. Congratulations to you, Michelle Heckert.
Thank you very much.
Now, you are so proud to be able to represent your Japanese American heritage. Your first time entering the competition. What does being princess mean to you?
It means a lot. It means being able to honor my grandparents and our Japanese American culture, and being able to inspire other young women to volunteer within the community as well.
And you've been so lucky to grow up here in Pacifica. We've talked about the surf, we've joked about the fog, you're working in tech. What do you want people to know about your hometown that maybe people don't know yet?
I think there's a lot beneath that layer of fog. You know, when the sun comes out, it's beautiful. We have beaches, we have breweries, we have so many other things to do around the city. And so come over and take some time, spend some time in the water, spend some time just I guess, yeah, just kind of following around, and I think you'll love it.
Okay, we already do. Well, Michelle Heckert, congratulations to you, 2022 Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival Princess. Thank you for joining us this morning. Let's go see how Andre's doing after that sip of that drink.
Well, yeah, I'm going to save it till after the show. I'm officially done with work for the day, all right?
Let's do it.
All right, so we have some things coming up soon here.
We do.
Yes.
So our next zip trip, we're not going to be in the fog.
No, it's going to be completely opposite the weather.
We're going to be in short sleeves because we're taking the truck back out to the East Bay, and we are asking you for your recommendations. Boy, you responded in a big way when it came to Pacifica. Now tell me what you know about these 2 fabulous East Bay towns. In 2 weeks, we're heading to the East Bay. We're going to spotlight the East Bay city of Dublin there in the Tri-Valley. We want your suggestions on what to do, where to go, what to eat, etc. So let us know at ktvu.com/ziptrips all about Dublin.
All right, so it's going to be different weather when we go out to Dublin.
Yeah.
We only have 2 cities actually left on our zip trip. Sad to say, but we're going to be doing this next summer as well. So let's take a look. So as Garcia mentioned just a moment ago, our summer zip trip continues with Dublin, and then we will end the summer in Martinez. Yeah. So if you're going to be in Dublin 2 Fridays from now, and 2 Fridays after that, we're going to be in Martinez. Come out and see us. Come out and say hi. We would love to see you. We love doing these things and getting out into the community.
And you're not going
to.
I feel the sun.
Yes.
That's
there it is.
The sun. It's
Our
actually.
EP said, I feel that we're going to have the sun before the end. And he was right. I didn't think he was going to be right.
The sun snuck in the last 30 seconds. Look, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to the people of Pacifica
Thank you, everyone.
who came out to make this a real party.
And good luck, Skyler.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. What an awesome zip trip, Pacifica. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody.